The White House released a 5-year, $1.2 billion plan this Friday to fight drug-resistant superbugs that include better tracking of infections, faster tests, and new drugs. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization have been warning that the world could be about to enter a post-antibiotic era when fewer and fewer drugs will work to kill common infections. Hospitals now will be pushed to do a better job of controlling infections like these, which kill 23,000 Americans every year and cost the economy billions of dollars. The problems are caused by the overuse of antibiotics, the lack of tracking and screening to stop the superbugs from spreading, and the increasing use of antibiotics in farm animals. Nick, it's great that the government is taking action on an issue that is becoming a health crisis. But the reality is that if you read into the plan, it's all geared into providing a better environment for the drug companies to create better drugs. And they don't do anything about the elephant in the room, that is the amount of antibiotics that we use in our food chain.
Yeah, and you said that they're losing a lot of money, right? Every year because of all these people who are getting sick. But think about all the money they're making by beefing up these chickens and cows with all these antibiotics and selling them to us. So humans, right, when we first started using antibiotics, they weren't immune to them so much. No. But over time, we're given so much antibiotics for sicknesses, and then we're also fed so many antibiotics that we become almost immune to these things, and it takes much more to help us. Every single year, 2 million people are affected. They're going to the hospital, they're going for treatment, they're given antibiotics,
exactly.
And it doesn't work. Why? Yeah. Because they already have antibiotics in their body.
They know how to deal with them.
Yeah, and that's why Congress doesn't want us to know about all these reports that are coming out about the food industry and how much less meat we should be eating, the terrible effects of the meat. They're trying to hide it because they're making money.
Making money. Yeah. So, I'm going to share with you the overall structure of the plan. It's a 5-point approach in the White House plan, and it's slowing the emergence of resistant bacteria and prevent the spread of these bacteria. Strengthening the national One Health surveillance effort to combat resistance is a central agency that communicates. Advanced development and use of rapid and innovative diagnostic tests to identify and classify these bacteria. And then the acceleration of basic and applied research on the development of these bacteria and how they work and why are they so resistant to the known antibiotics, and also improve the international collaboration so we know what other type of bacteria are in the world, in different regions of the world, so we tackle this together. But they don't talk anything about what are we going to do with the antibiotics in our food system. And I'm going to quote this, is the first quote that we have, is that we're setting national goals for improving antibiotic use, and we're asking doctors and hospitals to help us meet them, and we're going to help health departments across the country achieve these goals, was the White House official statement on the matter. And again, the effort, it's applaudable, but I think they're missing the point. I think that we have to start somewhere, but I don't see why we should be starting on a direction of helping Big Pharma. And there's a quote from the president in the same speech where he says, I want to help these companies be successful at creating drugs that sell.
Well, it's difficult because when we're talking about food, for example, and we're talking about the antibiotics used in the meat, it's unregulated. It's impossible to know how much, where it's coming from, and all these things. So it makes it much more difficult. It's easier for them to go against the pharmaceutical companies, of course.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it be the future, though, in both the pharmaceutical, using less antibiotics that are more effective, and obviously completely ratified when it comes to the food, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary because if you do a little bit of research, you see that the levels of antibiotics that they use to raise chickens, it's insane. Yeah. Because of, and also, like you said, the money that it comes around, the subsidies that are that exist for the farms that raise these chickens are huge. So there's a huge industry that is going on with half part of the government, half part of the private investors. But the reality is that they live in these such dirty conditions that they need a really high amount of antibiotics to not get sick and to reach these goals of production. And we are getting them, all of us, in our system by proxy. So I think that we need to pay more attention to what it's important, that it's the food chain, because that is the only thing that is going to have a positive effect on this situation, because not everybody gets prescribed. I might not go to get prescription, but I'll eat chicken, like most of us. So let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think the US missed the point by supporting this agenda for the companies to sell better drugs, or we should be looking at the quality of our food chain? Let us know what you think in the comments, and please subscribe to the Lip TV.